Okay, hey guys, Amy here. So I just wanted to go back in and do another few videos on getting started in Cricut Design Space. They've come out with a lot of updates and things since my last videos, so I'm going to start a series here on getting started. And if you just got one, maybe for Christmas or something like that, then you're in the right place to learn how to use the software here because everything you do, you need to use the software for pretty much. So this is just what it looks like when you open up Cricut Design Space after you've downloaded the app and uploaded it. It comes up like this, and it has some recommendations for you, some things to make, featured images, has all sorts of stuff on here when you first get into it. So up here on kind of the hamburger, 3 lines up here on the home section is where you will find your profile. And under here, if you have a new product, this is where you will go and click new product setup. And it walks you step by step through this on how to start that up if you have a heat press or a new machine. Okay, and also under here, you have a calibration. So if you wanting to do some print and cuts, then definitely calibrate your machine. If you haven't done one in a while, definitely calibrate your machine. I learned the hard way and I hadn't done one in a while and mine was kind of off. So this is super easy too. It walks you through everything. And then you can come over here and this is where you can do some other stuff, have Cricut access, get access to that and your account details. And if you have the old cartridges like I did and you wanted to link them, this is where you will do it over here. Okay, so that's just kind of the layout of that account part. So if you're just getting started, a great place to start is kind of the My Project section. You can click on this and it actually comes up with all of my projects. But then on the drop down, you can go down and they have all categories, my ready to make, featured. They have them kind of listed by Christmas, things like that. So if I go into all categories, you'll see a ton of them come up here. So there is a filter here to filter for anything you want. Say we're looking for like a birthday card. So you can definitely type that in and it comes up with all of these ready to make ones. Um, so this is a great place to start out if you're not familiar with designing and things like that. You can just come in here and click on anything and you can actually click on customize if you want to change it for any reason, or you can just click make it and it will automatically go into the screen we call the prepare screen, which we'll get to in another video. This is just kind of the startup video of to cut out. Okay, or you can hit customize and come into a canvas and customize it there. Okay, so if you go back to the beginning, there's always a tab up here that says new project. So we're going to click on that and this brings up what we call the canvas. So you can see up here it says canvas. This is where all your designing gets done. So I just wanted to show you kind of, I don't want to bombard you here. So like I said, we're going to do a bunch of different tutorials, but this one I'm just going to kind of show you where everything is at in here. So just to get familiar with it. So over here is our left side toolbar. And here is, you can start a new canvas up here by clicking on that one. Again, you always have these 3, the hamburger to get into your profile and things like that if you want to. Okay, so they have the templates, projects. Again, this is another place that you can get into those ready to make projects and things like that if you just want to jump into that. But if you're going to be designing things, you're mostly going to be down in these ones and images, text, phrases, upload, things like that. So say we click on text and then your text box is going to come in here. And in text, we're going to talk all about text in another video too. Okay, so up here on your top are your kind of your design tools. So up here you have operation, which is where all of your different kind of cuts and things like that. And it's going to be dependent on what machine you have connected here. So right now I have my Explore, and you can see right down here I can cut, I can draw with my pen, I can change things to foil, I can score, I can do print and cut, and the outside. Okay, but if I change this to, say, the Cricut Maker, you can see that now I have more. I have the engrave option, the deboss option, the wavy perforate, all those different types of tips and blades that you can get with the Cricut Maker. And if you change it to the Cricut Joy, you'll see that it changes it also. So that's great. So you're not trying to do something that your machine can't do. But if you get into here and like, why can't I do this? And you have multiple machines, you need to go in and make sure that to change it to the machine that you have. Okay, so that's where most of your stuff that you're going to use for your cutting. So if I change it to like score, you'll see it changes into different lines. Same thing with pen. But again, we're going to get into that later. And then you have your undo, your redo, your edits if you want to cut, copy, duplicate. And so some of these are a lot if you're familiar with any kind of other software with the arrange, moving things backwards, forwards when you have multiple layers, flipping it, horizontal and vertical. You have the size up here, your alignment here, and then these we're going to get into on our text video here. And then over here on the right side, you have your layers panel. So this is going to show every layer that you have in here. So if I just stuck in something else here, just to show you, you'll see that now I have two things on my layers panel here. So it shows everything you have there. And then up here is duplicate if you want to duplicate. And then you can hit the delete or your backspace button when something is selected. And when we talk about selected, when you have something selected, it will always have kind of the square around it and the lines around it. So in order to do anything, you need to actually click on it, and then you can change the cut, whatever you need to do with it. So if you're trying to change like the text and this is selected, then it's going to change this one right here. So make sure whatever you're working on is the one that you have selected. Okay, and then down here we will get into is all of our more editing tools of the slice and the combine that they changed, attach and flatten. This is for if you're going to do a print and cut, and then contour, we will get into that too. So all of these are here. And then the second layer is your color sync panel. And this will show all the colors that you have. So right now I have this black. Let's say I change this to purple, and you change the color by clicking on the square next to operation. And I can change this to purple. And it will show I have a purple banner. And then this, oh, I guess it's in pen, so it's not showing it. But if I have this as a cut, then it will show up that that one is gray. So you have those, and this is actually one of my favorite features, and we will get into that in later videos of why you can do some cool things of dragging these around and changing them. And then they also have the arrows if you just want to see kind of the colors there. Okay, so that is kind of just the layout of Design Space. And we will get into all of these tools more. But like I said, there's a lot to it, so I don't want to bombard you with everything. Real fast, the zoom is down here if you want to minus things, if you have something really big, and if you want to add them. Okay, also for some reason, if you don't want kind of the grid, you can take that off, and that is over in your settings here. If you go into settings, we have a couple different things. You know, it'll ask you about how you want to save. And then on your canvas, you can have a full grid. You can change it to a partial grid where you see how it changed here that only has the 1-inch markings, or you can do no grid. And then you can also change it to if you use the metric system, things like that. So all of that is available here. The load type, this is kind of default to how things will say on the load. And then you can turn these on and off if you want to get notifications, things like that. Okay, so that's where that is. Okay, so this was, like I said, just kind of a quick overview of what Cricut Design Space looks like, kind of what it has to offer, um, where you can find, the projects, your saved stuff, things like that. Okay, so in the next video, we will be talking more about the text and all that you can do with text.